Have you ever wondered what happens when the very people who propped up a regime start to abandon ship? We're seeing a seismic shift in Russia, a quiet but massive exodus that could signal the beginning of the end for the current power structure. It's a story of fear, wealth, and a desperate search for freedom. Let's start with the numbers because they are staggering. Imagine 15,000 millionaires packing their bags and leaving a country in a single year. That's not a slow drain. That's a hemorrhage. This isn't just about people with money wanting a change of scenery. This is a significant portion of Russia's economic elite voting with their feet, a clear sign that they've lost faith in the country's future under Putin's leadership. They see the writing on the wall, and it spells economic collapse and increasing isolation. These are the individuals who have the most to lose, and their departure sends a powerful message both inside and outside of Russia. They are moving their families, their assets, and their futures, stripping the country of vital capital and expertise. But it's not just the ultra-rich. The exodus includes a huge number of educated professionals, engineers, IT specialists, artists, and academics. These are the people who form the backbone of a modern society. They are leaving because of a climate of intense political repression. The space for free thought and expression has shrunk to almost nothing. Speaking out against a government or even just holding a dissenting opinion can lead to severe consequences. For these educated Russians, the choice is between staying silent in a system they disagree with, or leaving to build a new life where their skills and voices are valued. They're seeking refuge from a government that increasingly sees its own citizens as a threat. One of the main destinations for this wave of exiles is Georgia. The streets of Tbilisi are now filled with the sound of the Russian language. But these are not tourists. They are political dissidents, journalists, and activists who were forced to flee. Georgia, with its visa-free policy for Russians and a somewhat familiar cultural landscape, has become an accidental haven. However, it's a complicated relationship. Many Georgians remember the 2008 invasion and are wary of this large influx. While they might sympathize with the individuals fleeing repression, there's a palpable tension and a fear of Russian influence seeping across the border. For the Russians who have settled there, it's a life in limbo, caught between a home they can't return to and a host country that is not entirely welcoming. The fear of economic collapse is a huge driver for this migration. The sanctions imposed on Russia are biting deep, and the long-term economic outlook is grim. The affluent are not just worried about their lifestyle. They're worried about the fundamental stability of the economy. They see a future of declining opportunities, of being cut off from the global financial system, and of their wealth evaporating. For them, abandoning their homeland is not just a political statement, it's a pragmatic financial decision. They are moving their assets to places like the UAE and Turkey, trying to preserve what they've built before the entire system implodes. This capital flight weakens the Russian economy even further, creating a vicious cycle. What's also fascinating is the movement happening within Russia's own borders. We're seeing a trend of internal migration, where citizens are moving away from the border regions and major cities, seeking what they perceive as safer, more remote areas. This internal shift shows a deep-seated anxiety about the future. It's a sign that even ordinary Russians, not just the elite or the politically active, are growing concerned about their personal safety. They're worried about the potential for the conflict to spill over or for social unrest to erupt in the urban centers. This hollowing out of a country's own heartland is a symptom of a society under immense stress. Life for those who have left is far from easy. Dissidents, and, in particular, military deserters who have fled to neighboring states like Kazakhstan or Armenia, find themselves in a very precarious situation. They often lack legal status, struggle to find work, and live in constant fear of being sent back to Russia, where they would face severe punishment. They are caught in a legal and political no man's land. These neighboring countries are trying to balance their relationship with Russia against international pressure and the humanitarian needs of the refugees. The stories of these individuals are tales of courage, but also of profound hardship and uncertainty. They've escaped one danger only to find themselves facing a whole new set of challenges. This mass departure of a country's wealthiest and brightest is a classic sign of a regime in crisis. When the elites, who have benefited the most from the system, decide it's no longer a safe bet, it indicates a deep loss of confidence in the leadership's ability to maintain control and stability. Putin's regime is facing a dual crisis, a brain drain of its most talented citizens and a capital flight of its wealthiest. This erodes the very foundation of the state's power and its potential for future growth. The social contract, which traded political freedoms for economic prosperity, has been broken. What we are witnessing is not just a migration. It's the unraveling of a political project. The Kremlin's grip on power has always relied on a combination of propaganda, repression, and the loyalty of the elites. Now, that loyalty is clearly fracturing. The exodus is a vote of no confidence on a massive scale. Each millionaire who leaves, each scientist who finds a job abroad, each activist who continues their work from exile is a crack in the facade of the regime. The long-term consequences of this will be profound. A nation stripped of its wealth, its talent, and its critical thinkers is a nation facing a very bleak future. The collapse of control may not be televised, but it is happening, one departure at a time. The question is not if the regime will face a reckoning, but when. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis insightful. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into global events. See you next time.